I found 10 big ways that Mexico is better than the USA that people don't want to admit. This isn't about the biggest building or the most millionaires. It's actually about being happy, comfortable, and living a good life. The USA is great at some things, but in these 10 ways, the country south of the border is doing things a lot better. Watch until the end, and you'll finally understand that the USA isn't the king of everything. There are things that they are missing there that you can easily find in Mexico. Number one, Mexico respects the elderly. The US often pushes their older people, their senior citizens, into separate retirement homes or communities. They completely isolate them. And even if they don't have to be put in these communities or retirement homes, they are often isolated into their own being independent. And sometimes that's not a great thing. Like one example, my great grandmother, she was 100, just over 100 years old when they had to put her in a home because she was living by herself in a retirement building, but there was no help. There was no one, no nurses, no anything. And she fell and she was unable to get up. So that was the reason they put her in the home. Now, she was very independent, but I think we really push our older people to be more independent. We don't want to live in a family unit. But that's a complete opposite for Mexico. Culturally, it's normal for grandparents to live with the family or very near to the family. And for Mexican people, this is normal. And isolating their family members is really unnatural for them. And I understand it. It can kind of be lonely, especially if you think about it as a younger person, growing older and being isolated away from your family, for them to be too busy for you or to put you in a home where strangers are taking care of you. It can be a little intimidating or scary. So the US, what they do is they separate the elderly from daily life, and Mexico seems to integrate them, which I find that older people seem younger here than they do in the US or even in Canada. They really do seem younger. They seem to do more. There's less walkers and wheelchairs here. That's the thing. I haven't seen one of those those electric scooters. I have never seen one in Mexico. I wonder why. And here in Mexico, the elderly are seen as wise teachers in most communities, not burdens. Back in the US and Canada, they're seen completely like burdens a lot of the time. And here, that really strengthens the family bonds for the most part. And I really like that about Mexico. And it's not so bad to respect older people. They get more dignity, they have more purpose, and they get a lot more love in their older years. Mexico successfully uses and honors its elderly way better than the US does. Number two, Mexico has more sense of community. See, in the US, suburbs are designed for isolation. And they do this on purpose. They were designed back in the 50s or 40s, whenever they started building them. On purpose, this design was purposely done for driving, really, to sell more cars and to sell more oil and gas. And what this does is it limits a lot of neighbor contact. A lot of people, you might know your next door neighbor, but you don't know anyone else around because usually when you're out and about, you're using your car. You're not seeing your neighbors, you're not talking to them. And in here in Mexico, life centers in a lot of towns and even sections of big cities. Life centers in the public square or the parks that are around. It draws people out to these places. I've been to quite a few towns in Mexico, and if you go to the downtown area, in most of them, pretty much all of them, there's like a square. There's a place where a lot of people hang out. A lot of elderly people too, actually. They go out and they have conversations during the day with other people. And they hang out and talk to people and enjoy the day. Maybe eat ice cream or have snacks, whatever. They just sit around and chill and enjoy the day. But in the US, towns and cities are pretty much designed to keep people inside. It's completely opposite to what Mexico is, where it's designed to pull them outside to actually interact with one another. It's obvious why this is better in Mexico. This makes people naturally connected to each other. And when you feel more connected, You feel like more of a community. There's more incentive to stick together and help each other out. I couldn't say the same for the US in most parts. There isn't a strong feeling of local safety and support in the US like there is in Mexico. And Mexico successfully built a better, stronger social fabric that fights loneliness compared to the USA. Because when you're not connected to the people around you, it could feel very dark and lonely at times. Number three, superior urban planning. In the US, like I said earlier, cities are often built around cars. Cars are the king. You have to drive almost everywhere, depending on where you live, but most places you have to drive everywhere to get to the grocery store, to take your kids to go play sports, to go to work. I know some people that drive 1 hour just to get to work. In Mexico, older cities were built for walking, were built for human legs, for human speed. And these stores and local places that you go, and a lot of times your job and the places where your kids play sports are integrated within around your houses. You don't have to go 10 kilometers or 10 miles to go to a grocery store. The US prioritizes speedy driving, and Mexico prioritizes easy walking in a lot of places. Some of the big cities here, you do need a car depending on where you live, but that's a whole different story. Most of the places in Mexico where people live, it's it's easy to walk around. This is better, and I know it's obvious that walking is cheaper, reduces traffic, and encourages a healthy, active living. That's probably why older people actually seem younger here, because they're encouraged to get out more and use their legs and move around. Like I said, Mexico's urban design creates a more pleasant and active daily life. Number four, an unbeatable value for services. Now, let me explain. Due to the wages and structures and cost of living in Mexico, a lot of services are affordable for the middle class. I mean, it's more, if you're middle class or higher, you can afford these services. It's an easier life for people in middle class or upper class. The difference is the US makes help more expensive. Like if you wanted your house clean or your garden, your lawn mowed or your garden done or any of those little services, you in the US, you need to have a lot of money to afford people to do these things. In Mexico, it makes it a little bit more accessible for many families to afford these things and make their life a little bit easier. Now, the wage gap, a lot of times, is something to talk about, maybe in a different video, but it gives people a major boost in a work life balance here, especially if you're in the middle class or higher. And it reduces stress at home. And the result of that can be that people can get more valuable time back to spend with their family if they want to, or on hobbies or sports that they enjoy, or even businesses that they wanted to start or they're already working on. So Mexico does offer a higher, less stressed standard of living for its working class. Number five, Mexico has a better street food culture. In the USA, street food is like really good street food is kind of rare. It's restricted and usually expensive when you find it. But in Mexico, the street food is delicious, fresh, cheap, and a main part of the economy here, like the food economy here. And Mexicans also take it more serious here. Like in the US, street food is more of a novelty item. You have to get it out of a food truck. Here you get carts, taco carts and tamale carts and all different kinds of things. So US sees it as a novelty and Mexico sees it as an essential daily thing. They don't see it as a novelty here. And they take it serious. You can tell by the flavors and the taste and the quality of the food. Why it's better is that the people that make this food, they specialize at this. It makes them masters, like culinary masters of one specific item. And a lot of them take pride in that. And you get to have access to higher quality and flavorful food every single day or night, whenever you want it. Mexico offers a richer, more accessible experience with street food. And even though there are some good food trucks in the US doesn't even come close to being as good as Mexico. Number six, genuine customer service and warmth. In the USA, service is often rushed and it's just a transaction. And it's based on the corporate company that this person works for. And it's usually just a script that they spew out to you to get it over with quickly. In Mexico, service is a little more natural and warmth. There's a little more hospitality to it. There's a little bit more respect to it also. The USA, they always say the customer is right, which I don't think that is even a thing anymore there, but it's efficient and cold. In Mexico, sometimes the customer not might not be right. They'll tell you to your face. And the service is slower, but it's also much warmer and more personal. That's what I find. This culture makes daily interactions a little bit more pleasant when you go out. And what it does is it reduces tension and stress if you look at it the right way, because there are a lot of foreigners that come to Mexico. And if things aren't done the way they're used to, they freak out and yell and scream. And that's not going to get you anywhere. Just understand that things are a little bit different here. And for the most part, if you understand this, as a customer, you'll feel more welcome and valued if you look at it a specific way, not just processed and, just a number to get through and on to the next person. It does make things a lot slower here sometimes. And even I have to admit that when people are explaining things to us a little too much, I just want to get the process over with and move on to the next thing because I think I'm used to that. But that's not Mexico's fault or people in Mexico. That's my own fault that I need to understand. And I'm starting to understand it. Well, what I really see is that Mexico provides a higher quality of human interaction in everyday life. That's my point of this. Number seven, Mexico does festivals and celebrations better. In the USA, many holidays have become highly commercialized and super shallow, like all of them. Christmas, even Thanksgiving, Halloween, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, they're all based on spending money, buying things, and it's out of hand. The corporations in the USA have a chokehold on consumers, and they make you think that someone needs to buy you something for these holidays, or else they don't love you or they don't care about you. And here in Mexico, celebrations are deeply rooted in history, faith, and community traditions, not buying things for other people or spending money. The difference is that the US focuses on retail sales and Mexico focuses on community rituals and meaning. And you've probably guessed why this is better in Mexico. They have a lot more meaning to them. Citizens feel a stronger, deeper connection to their history and culture and actually understand there's a lot more history and culture here, but a lot of them understand the history and culture. And they're really, because of this, they want to show you, like me as a newcomer, people have shown me so much because they really care, because they celebrate these things. And Mexico really maintains this richer, more meaningful celebrations way better than the USA does for their celebrations that are surrounded by gifts and presents and spending. Number 8, Mexico's becoming a manufacturing powerhouse. The USA moved away from manufacturing, and it's because of the high cost of labor and the high cost of factory operations. And they've moved away from this a long time ago. No matter what they're trying to tell their people in the US, it's not coming back. It's too expensive. But the thing about Mexico is that it has a large skilled labor force with a lower cost. And what this does is it makes mass production more profitable for companies. The US economy can't afford to restart its manufacturing, but at competitive prices, Mexico can. And Mexico is doing this. They use their lower cost combined with their shared border and trade agreements with US and Canada to create more opportunity and value to these trades. The result is that US companies choose Mexico to do their manufacturing because it costs less than shipping it from Asia, shipping it from places like China. And it's a lot more secure and faster. The US's manufacturing past is gone. You have to admit that. You have to realize this. It's way too expensive. which is making Mexico the only place in North America where production can be done at a proper cost because it can't be done in the US or Canada. Number nine, Mexico has a better literacy rate, which means Mexico has better reading and writing skills. While the US focuses on advanced degrees, basic adult literacy rates have really lagged. They're really suffering big time. And in Mexico, a higher percentage of adults can read and write better than in the USA. See, the difference is that the US focuses on the top of the pyramid. Mexico focuses on the base, which means Mexico has more focus on the majority of the population to teach them how to read and write. And why this is better is having a stronger base over time leads to more competent general population, means that they can do things better. They can understand things better. They can communicate better. They can read. They can write. This foundation really helps in places like public health and basic jobs, getting people ready for the workforce. And in the USA, it's doing the complete opposite. Mexico ensures a stronger base of knowledge across a higher percentage of its citizens. Like I said, the better the percentage of reading and writing, the better off the nation actually is. It's not about the top. And it shows you again that Mexico cares about its citizens more. Maybe that should be another point. I don't know. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. Number 10, Mexico has more natural beauty and a better climate. See, US tourists often think that Mexico is only for beaches and resorts. But the thing about Mexico is that it's vast. It has incredible mountain ranges, jungles, and even deserts. See, the idea that people outside of Mexico or have never been to Mexico, their view is very limited and basic about Mexico. It's one of the world's most biodiverse countries, and it offers endless exploration. Whatever you're looking for, you can get it here. You can find almost any kind of climate or natural wonders within its borders, within Mexico. I constantly learn about the things, even just 1 or 2 hours outside of Mexico City. There's an unlimited amount of things to see and do, an unlimited amount of different types of weather, which makes me realize that Mexico is super underrated and its wealth of natural beauty is unlimited. Now, if you come this far in this video, I'm sure you liked it. I'm pretty sure. I know you liked it. And I have good news for you. I have other videos like this one right here. This is Mexico the new American dream? Check it out. Click it, check it out, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.